Hello, how are you all? I hope you're all well. Well, I'm in the kitchen again. You're going to have to excuse, I've got lights and tripods and funny things set up there because we're going to have another go at doing a cooking video for you this week. Yes, we are. We're going to do you some nice pork there with some stir-fried vegetables, and we're going to put it in a honey and soy sauce glaze that should be beautiful with a bit of luck. And if everything goes according to plan, and I do hope it does, we're going to do it with some boiled rice as well, but we're going to cook that in a special way. We're going to cook that in a special pan for you. But anyway, without further ado, because I've got everything set up and I've got the van shut so we don't get too much road noise, and it's warm. Oh, you can sort of hear a little bit, and that's warm at the minute, so that's going to get blooming hot in this van. So yeah, without further ado, I'll turn you around. I'll pop you up on that tripod behind me there, look. And we'll start filming. Oh, just one other thing. Don't forget the old like and subscribe button down the bottom there, down the bottom here somewhere. Give that a tap for me. Be ever so grateful if you did that. Of course, any questions, queries, anything you want to know, pop that down in the comments. I'll happily take care of that for you. We'll answer that for you. And yeah, tell your mates if you like this. If you like this and you cook it, let me know in the comments. If you do like this, tell your mates about it. Tell them what you thought of it. Tell them, oh, you want to have a look at that video and cook that pork. That should be nice. Right then, without further ado, we'll crack on. We'll see if we can get this cooking. And we'll see you in just a second when I'll put you back up on that tripod there. Back in a minute. Right then, first these are the ingredients that we're going to marinate the pork in. You will excuse, by the way, if you can hear a wood pigeon. You're not far from my roof vent. I'm parked near a tree. And there's a wood pigeon up there at the minute singing his heart out. So that might pick up on the microphone, but we'll have to see. So, the ingredients that we're going to need. First thing we're going to need is a drop of soy sauce. I can't tip the bottle up too much because it's been opened and that'll pour out everywhere. That's a low salt one, but that's up to you, whichever one you like the best. The soy sauce, you're going to want 3 teaspoons of that. Next, we've got a drop of honey there, just a drop of clear honey. You'll want a couple of teaspoons of the honey. Next will be a little bit of chili puree. I've got some chipotle one there. It's meant to be a little bit smokier. Now, I reckon on about a quarter of a teaspoon of that. Right, that should be plenty. But if you like your food a little spicier, by all means, adjust it to your taste. Put a little bit more in if you want. We've got some ginger. Now, I would say either ginger puree if you can get it, which I couldn't find any. So I've got this odd-looking thing, which is a bit of fresh ginger root, and we're going to grate that up instead on my little fine grater. That'll be fine, don't worry. So we're going to need a little bit of ginger, and I'm going to want about half a teaspoon, I reckon, of that. That should be fine. There's a little bit of garlic puree. Got that in the tube there. That's nice and simple, and it's about a quarter of a teaspoon of that. And then, of course, this last little green fella is a lime. I'm going a little bit of zest off that lime just to go in the sauce, and probably the juice, or I don't know, probably out about half of it will be plenty. Just add a little bit of zest there to the sauce. That'll be lovely. The other thing we're going to add to this, and I'll show you in a minute, is just a pork loin steak. Yeah, just one, because this is only for me, so one will be plenty. And we're just going to cube that up a bit, or sort of just, sort of cut it up a little bit so it's in little pieces, so that'll marinate. But yeah, if you bear with me a minute, I'll get that chili ready, and I'll do that as well. Oh, we'll show you the vegetable side of this as well. I better do that, hadn't I? So we'll come back in just a minute, and I'll show you the veggie side of this. Right then. Because I've got it ready first, look, we'll pop a little bit of that that ginger in there first. Like I said, about half a teaspoonful. That don't matter too much. I like a bit of ginger, so we'll pop all that in there because that'll be nice. Right then, next we want 3 teaspoons of soy sauce. So if I find my teaspoon measure, let's put the bowl in the centre. In the centre, yeah, that's about right. Right then. 1. 2. And there's 3 teaspoons of soy sauce have gone in there. What's next? Oh, we want honey. And we want two teaspoonfuls of honey. And let's have a look. I'm not very prepared, so we haven't managed to open the top of the honey up yet. There you go. We've done that. So 2 little teaspoons of honey. So that's 1. There we go. 2 good generous teaspoons of honey went in there, look. Just like that. Right. I'll leave him there a minute, otherwise everything will get sticky. I'm going to have a little clear out. Just use a potato peeler. Just use that to peel the ginger, you see? Clever, huh? Right. Put the knife out of the way for a second. What's next? Let's put a little bit of this. Cool. That's got a bite to it. Let's put a little bit of this chili puree in here, shall we? We're dripping stuff everywhere. We're not very professional, but there you go. They are. That's a ½ teaspoon measure, so that's about a 1/4 teaspoon of that. That's lovely. In that goes. And then we want a little bit of garlic puree, don't we? So, a little bit of garlic puree. And again, we don't want a huge amount, about a 1/4 teaspoonful, which is something like that, isn't it? Sort of a squeeze of garlic there. That would be fine. And what's next? Just a little drop of the lime, don't we? Right then. Right, there you go. I'm back. Right, there's my little grater. We're just going to grate a little bit of lime zest in here. Oh, just like this, look, just a little bit. Now, when you do this, look, take care you don't go too deep. Don't take all the white stuff off, otherwise that tastes bitter. You won't want that. See, that's coming through. A little bit of zest off your lime there, just like that. There you go. There we are, just a little drop. How much is that? Let's put a little more if you might be able to taste it, don't we? That'd be nice. That's better. A bit more? Yeah, why not? You see? Try not to get the white stuff underneath. I think I caught it a little bit there, but try not to get the white. Just get the actual zest itself, the actual outer peel. There you are, look. We'll knock him into there. Lovely. That'll give him a nice zesty flavour. Now, if we cut this fella in half, like this, we can put a bit of the juice out of about half of that. How's that look? Here we go. Hands are nice and clean. Don't worry, I have washed them. Oh my word, there's a lot of juice in that, ain't there? God, there ain't nothing in there. Hang on a minute, I know a trick. If I go over here, my cutlery cupboard, if I get a fork, we can have a little go in there, look, and we can tempt a bit more juice out of it. Cool. Ain't a very juicy lime. Apparently, if you microwave them for a few seconds, that helps let the juice out of them. Of course, I don't own a microwave, so that won't be a lot of help to me, will it? There you go. I think that's got a bit of juice. That'll be enough. We'll taste it. Right, we'll drop that in the bin. And we'll give this a little stir about. This has got all our chilli and our ginger and everything yummy in it. Right, that's going to be ready to pop our pork into. Alright, so next, let me just give this a wipe on here, just clean that off. Oops, we've got honey everywhere. We're making a lovely mess, aren't we? Got to destroy the van before we're done. And there you go. Right, that's in a little bag because I buy packs of 4 and then I freeze them. And then they last me longer. Right, same thing. I doubt you're going to watch me do this. So we'll come back in just a minute when I've chopped that up a little bit. All right, back in a minute. Right then, we're back. I've chopped up that pork. Right, we're going to pop the pork in there. Hands are clean, don't worry. I'll wash them. We're going to put them in there. Look. We're going to get that pork a good stir around in all that sauce. And that's going to marinate and soak into that pork and make that lovely. Look at that. That's gorgeous and it smells beautiful. If you were stood here, it smells absolutely divine. Right then, what we're going to do, we're going to pop that into the fridge just while we prep up all the other vegetables and stuff. Once we've done that for you, then we're going to start getting some stuff on the cookers and pots and pans, and we'll get my tea cooking. So that lot's going to pop into the fridge there. Just let it marinate. That'll be, well, I don't know, 20 minutes while I just get everything else set up and we do the next bit. So that'll marinate in the cooker there. In the cooker. He's a professional, this one. That'll marinate in the fridge for, like I say, 20 minutes, half an hour. That'll be fine. All right then. We'll see you in just a minute. Right then, as you can see, we've got our ingredients here. We've got about a quarter of a white onion there. Look, just a quarter, that's plenty. And half a stick, more or less, of celery there. Sort of a smallish carrot there, and I've peeled him just to be easy. About a quarter there of a red pepper, that's fine. Just at the back here, look, we've got a little bit of broccoli there. I think I've got about, I don't know, 75 grams of broccoli, something like that. This weird stuff down here, this is called pak choi. You can get this in the supermarkets, sometimes called Chinese cabbage. Bottom half is sort of got a bit of a crunch, a little bit like celery, and the top green part, that sort of cooks up and that tastes a little bit like spinach. So that make a bit of a change in there. Right, the usual sort of thing, because I've got to get these all chopped up and prepped up, because I can't fry them looking like that, can I? So if you come back in just a minute, I'll have done my nice skills, probably shot them all over the worktop as usual, and I'll have got them all prepped up for you. So if you come back in just a minute, we'll take care of that for you. Right then, as you can see, I've plunked that all up a bit, chopped it up. So let's just recap. Like I said, about a quarter of a white onion there. Don't chop stuff up too fine because we're stir frying it, so you want a bit of texture. About half a stick of celery there. Quarter of red pepper. Again, look, don't chop it up too small. Nice big chunky bits. The carrot there, they're just in some slices. Look on the diagonal, so they look nice. The broccoli, look, like I said, there's about, I don't know, 70, 75 grams. I haven't chopped it up as such. I've just divided it up into some smaller little bits that just cook better there. This is the pak choi, and I've just sliced it through. That looked like quite a lot, but all those greens are going to cook right down, so it isn't quite as much as that. Look, that'll shrink down when that go in the frying pan. Don't worry about that. Last thing we're going to need here, look, we've got a third of a cup, which is about 65 grams of white rice there, and I'm going to cook that to go along with this stir fry, right? So that's 65 grams or a third of a cup of white rice. The third of a cup's quite important because apparently we're going to put in about the same amount of water, and if I'm lucky, this is going to work, because I haven't cooked rice like this for a long while, and you never know, this just might go wrong, but I do hope not. So I'll clear this lot off the top of my cooker. We'll get some pots and pans on the go. We'll get that rice cooking first, and I'll tell you how that's going to cook. Then we'll start frying up the vegetables, and then we'll add the pork in just a minute. So we'll come back in just a second, and we'll show you how we're starting to get stuff on the go. All right then, see you in a moment.
Just thought it's worth explaining. In this next segment, you're going to see me cooking rice in a little pressure cooker. Now, I use a pressure cooker quite a bit. I cook stews and curries and all kinds of things in a pressure cooker because it cooks so quickly, you use a lot less gas, which I think is a brilliant idea. So if anybody's interested, the little pressure cooker I have is made by Hawkins. You can find them on eBay and Amazon. The size is 1.5 litre and it's the Contura model, which just means the sides curve down smoothly into the base instead of a sharp corner, which makes it easier to keep it clean inside. Now, I know some people are a little bit worried about using pressure cookers. They think they're old-fashioned and they've heard stories of them blowing up and stuff. I can assure you, if you follow the manufacturer's instructions, which you absolutely should, pressure cookers are perfectly safe. If you look on this particular one, you'll see a little black blowout disc underneath the handle. And what would happen if for any reason pressure release on the top got blocked and that started to build up pressure inside, that little disc would burst and that would let out any pressure and save that pressure cooker from exploding or doing anything like that. So as I say, don't worry about them. They are perfectly safe. If you don't like using one, you don't have to cook your rice in a pressure cooker. You can just cook it in a normal saucepan and boil it like you normally would. It's just it cooks a lot quicker in a pressure cooker, and that's the reason I do it. It's easy that way. It doesn't take very long. So yep, it's a little Hawkins pressure cooker, and that's what I use for the rice.
Right then,
no pressure. We're going to do this live. First things first, we're going to get the rice on the cook. So we're going to light some gas underneath that. You can hear that going. I'm going to put just a little dribble of oil in there, just a little bit, and it will stop the rice sticking together. Alright, so we'll put that in there first. I'll add the third of a cup of rice in there, and then all I'm going to do is swirl that about a little bit and mix that about a little bit, just so we get the rice coated with the oil. Alright, that's just going to stop that rice sticking together. Next thing we need is an equal measure of water. So I'm at the sink, you can't see that, you'll just have to trust me. Whoops, very carefully. Can you see that? That's a third of a cup of water. So we'll put equal parts water and rice in there. Give him a little tiny swirl about, get him nice and coated. Right, next thing we need, just a little drop of our salt from a certain well-known Essex seaside town. We're going to put just a sprinkle. Whoops, a little more than that, I think. Just a little drop. Don't forget, that water's not getting thrown out. That's getting cooked in that water, and that water's going to absorb into the rice. So don't overdo the salty, because if you do, you'll make the rice inedible. Now the lid goes on like this, look. And it turns round, and we get it in the middle. And we lock it on like that. And what we're waiting for, that's going to heat up. As soon as that hisses, we're going to give that 1 minute. Then we're going to switch off the heat, and the rice will cook itself after that. Alright, you can hear it's starting to hiss and sizzle and do funny things. That's coming up to pressure, right? In the meantime, just a little drop of oil in there, just enough to get these vegetables fried, and we'll get a little bit of heat under here. Right, a little bit of heat under that pan there, not too high, we don't want to blast everything just yet. We'll turn that down a little bit. Like I say, this ring over this side on my hob, that's a domestic hob, and that's a huge grip burn, and that's really powerful, so we don't want that too powerful. We'll let it heat that pan up. You can hear my pressure cooker sort of hissing and making some funny noises. Any minute now, once that gets hot, that'll hiss, that'll lift up, and that'll hiss. As soon as that hisses, we'll turn the heat down a little bit. We'll let it have just 1 minute. That's all it needs, 1 minute, and we'll switch off the heat. You can see, look, a little bit of water coming out. That's coming up to pressure. Alright, that look a bit scary. Don't worry, that's quite safe. We're not going to blow the place up, I promise you. Right, that'll come up to pressure. That'll hiss once. And then we're going to give that, there you go. We're going to turn that down, and we're going to give that 1 minute. Right. So we'll turn that right down. That's up to pressure. Oh, that's going to hiss again. That's a bit scary. Don't worry, that's not going to hurt. In the meantime, look, we'll get some vegetables in this frying pan. Very gently. Oops. And we'll get these cooking. Right. Because if I get this sort of right, this will get cooked about the same time that takes place. Right, we turn it down a little. That's a little bit fierce under that pressure cooker. Right, nearly up on the minute. I hope you can hear me. That might get a bit sizzly and a bit hissy. Oh my god, there's a lot going on, isn't there? Right, a few more seconds. Switched off the heat. There's no longer any heat on under there. And all I'm just going to do, just going to unclip the handle. The pressure's going to stay in there now. It's under pressure still. The water's come up to the boil. In fact, that's come up to a higher temperature than the normal boil. The pressure's going to stay inside there. That's going to carry on cooking that rice inside there until it slowly cools back down, and then that lid will fall in, and hopefully that rice will be cooked. And if it's not cooked, whoops, if it's not cooked, then this entire cooking thing will go in the blooper reel. This entire thing will go in the blooper reel, and we'll have to record it all again. Right, keeping these vegetables moving about, and you can hear them sizzling. They're sizzling away nicely themselves there. Look, they're starting to cook. Can you see how those leaves have all cooked down? Can you see that? All that pak choy, that's cooked down. That's not as much as it was before. That's cooked right down. That wilts down just like spinach does, you see. Right, we'll keep stirring this about because this is a stir fry after all. We don't want anything to burn. We want everything to cook nice and evenly. Hopefully without chucking it on the cooker, which we didn't. That's good. So we keep moving everything about. Now, like I say, the heat's now off under that rice. It's cooking itself now. Ever so clever. These things are brilliant because you can get away with using a tiny little bit of gas. I'll cook some more meals in there. You can see. You can cook a stew in 6 minutes in that, including the potatoes and everything. So it's really economical on the gas. Right, these are cooking away nicely. What we're going to do, we're going to come back in just a minute when these vegetables are a little closer to done. We'll put the pork in and we'll get those cooking away. And hopefully that rice will soon drop down and that'll be done soon. The lid will soon drop down. Right then, we'll see you in just a minute. Right then, I'm going to bring you back. These vegetables are cooking nicely, look. And you see they're starting to get a little bit of colour, so we'll pop the pork in there. And I don't know if you can see, the lid's fell in on my rice. So that means my rice is cooked. So, without further ado, I'll make the gap in the middle. There's my pork from earlier, look. That's been marinating away. That's lovely, that is. We'll put all of that in there. Oh, that's going to make a lovely rouse. You won't be able to hear a thing. All the sauce in there as well, because that's going to coat everything. Right. I'm just going to turn the heat up a little bit. And we're going to get that sizzling. And we're going to get cooking that pork. Because we need that pork to cook right through. And that'll coat all them vegetables in the lovely sticky sauce. And that'll cook that pork through. So we're stirring that into there. Oh, that smells amazing. I wish they did smell-o-vision. I know everybody always says that. Right, let's lift the lid out of here, look. Look at that. And let's get me a little fork. Or a spoon. Oh my word, that pork smells nice. We'll get a spoon, that's easy. Now if I just go through here, look. Look at that, you see? Oh, you give that a stir up and just break that up. Just like that. There you go. That look ready, look. Yep. And it's cooked. Success. We got it right. The rice is cooked. Alright. Now a little stir around, just break it up. What we'll do, we'll stand that lid on there for a minute and that'll just keep the heat in there. Meanwhile, let's go back to this fella, shall we? Oh, look out. Oh, we were doing so well, weren't we? Right, we're stirring this round and we've got to keep going now because we want all that pork to cook properly. You want to cook pork properly. It's not like beef. Can't be eaten pork medium rare. As you can see, the rest of that sauce has put a lovely sticky coating on everything else. That's it. Stir that about. We're nearly there, look. I'm getting hungry now. My dinner's nearly ready. Getting done. We're nearly ready. I'm starving, I tell you. And I'll be a good boy this week and I'll put it on a plate. Nobody actually complained last week, but I will behave myself this week and we'll put it on a plate because I ate out the frying pan last week, didn't I? So yeah, we'll stick this one on a plate properly. Right. Just going to leave that to cook a minute or two longer. And I'll bring you back in a minute when that's just about done. And we'll pop this on a plate and you can see it all finished. So we'll be back in just a minute. Right then, we're just about done, look. These are all nicely cooked. That pork's lovely and done. All the vegetables are cooked. Carrots are soft and all of that. The rice is done in there. I switched the gas off now.
The rice is done in my pan. All that remains now is for me to get this on a plate, and then I'll show you it on a plate. So the pans are going to disappear for a second, and then the plate will come back. Bear with me a minute. Oh, you can sort of hear noises in the background. There's that bit. Pop this bit on here. Right then, if I lift this back into shop, did I have a spoon there? No? Right, if I lift this back into shop, look, there you go. I tell you what, save melting the plate, because I have plastic plates, because I have a nasty habit of dropping them on the floor. We'll put that there, look, there you go. How's that looking? I think that's okay. There's my dinner, look. That's not bad, is it? So that's stir-fried red vegetables. And they're stir-fried up. I was looking for a spoon. I'm keen to eat it. Here's a spoon. Oh, look, there you go. You can hear pots and pans banging about. So we've got some stir-fried pork that's done in soy sauce and honey with a few other bits and pieces with some nice boiled rice on the side there. That's not bad, is it? Right then, I'm going to go and eat my tea. We're done for another week. I've successfully got through another cooking session without burning the caravan down, burning the van down rather, what am I saying? Without burning the van down, and without melting the phone or the camera or whatever else. And I think everything has worked if I'm lucky. So all that remains now is for me to go away and eat this and get all the doors open in my bag, because my word, that's got hot in here. Is for me to eat this and for you to see the credits. Don't forget there, down the bottom here somewhere, tap that old like and subscribe button for me. That'd be fantastic if you could do that. That'll help the channel no end. That'll help people get the word out there. If you like this, if you've cooked it, put a comment down the bottom there for me. Let me know about it. Tell me all about it. Hit the share as well. If, if you've enjoyed eating this, you've probably got friends that would like it too. Tell them about it. Send the message out there. Get people watching it. That'd be fantastic. I'd be really grateful. There's nothing left to say. I'm going to munch my tea before it goes cold. You're going to watch the credits. And that's going to be it for another week then. We'll see you all later. You mind how you go. You take care now. Bye.
And don't forget, park safe, park legal, and don't park on the boy. I'll be seeing you about together. You take care now. Bye.